forest protecting us. So protecting forest is protecting ourselves too. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast with me, Defiel and Rahmat. So I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourselves. So before we start, I wanna ask you something. Have you noticed how well the weather has been lately? Like seriously, one day it's super hot, the next day it suddenly rains. Sometimes it feels like the seasons are all mixed up. And honestly, stuff like that make me think what's happening to our environment because climate change is just something and when talking about the environment one thing we can't ignore is forests. Forests are such a hard part of life, but somehow we often forget how important they are. That's why today we are talking about something super important but also super understand forest management. How do we protect while still using the research? How do we keep forests alive for nature generation? And to help you understand all of this, I am joined by someone who know more about this topic. Welcome. Hi, thank you guys. I'm Mutia Agustina, so I'm happy to be here. Let's talk about this topic. Glad to have you here. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. When people hear the word forest, more of you probably just imagine lots of trees. But what exactly is a forest? That's actually a good question. Basically, a forest is an ecosystem dominated by trees and many living organisms interacting together. But forests are much more than just trees. Forests help regulate the temperature, store water, prevent soil erosion, absorb carbon dioxide, and produce oxygen. They're also home to countless animals and plants, so forests are essential for maintaining the balance of life on Earth. Honestly, when you explain it like that, forests sound like the planet super system, like they're doing all the background work that keep like stable. That's actually a pretty accurate way to describe it. A lot of people don't realize that forests directly over their daily lives. The air we breathe, the water cycle, even weather patterns, forests play a role in all of that. And that will because many people probably think forests only matter if you live near one, but actually forests affect everybody. So let's talk about sustainable forest management. It sounds like one of those serious environmental fronts, but what does it actually mean? So sustainable forest management basically means managing forests in a way that allows us to use the resource without destroying them. So yes, forests can still be used for wood, medicine, and other research. But the key is balance. We use what we need while making balance. But the key is balance. Forests can recover and continue existing. It's about thinking long term, not just about today, but also tomorrow. So it's like borrowing from nature, not stealing from it. Exactly. So that's a great way to put it. I like that because sometimes people think protecting forest means never touching them, but it actually about responsibility. So how does forest management work in real life? What are the main steps? So there are three main stages. First is planning, maintenance, and harvesting. Each one is equally important. Oh, let's break them down one by one. Starting with planting. Why is planting important? So planting, planting is the foundation. If forests are damaged because of fires, illegal logging, or land clearing, planting helps restore them. This can happen through reforestation, which means replanting trees is damaged. Forests are afforestation, which means planting trees in areas where forests didn't exist before. Planting helps bring back environmental functions like water absorption, oxygen production, and biodiversity. Oh, so basically, planting is giving to
not through another shades.
yes.
Yes, and it's important to remember that planting trees is not an instant solution. A forest takes years to fully recover.
That's true. I think social media something makes the planting look like the complete solution, like plant one tree and save the air, but it's actually more complicated than that.
Definitely, planting is important, but what happens after planting matters just as much.
Oh, which one used to maintenance? What does maintenance involve?
So maintenance means taking care of the trees after planting before. That includes removing weeds, adding fertilizer if needed, and protecting the trees from pests or disease. Young trees are vulnerable. Without proper care, many won't survive.
So planting a tree is kind of like adopting a pet. You can just live in and expect everything to be fine.
That's actually a funny but accurate comparison, because there's need attention too.
Oh, I think there's something people do talk about, planting is the extreme part, but maintenance is the commitment.
Exactly, and commitment is what makes restoration successful.
Oh, and the last stage is harvesting. A lot of people harvesting and think, why is counting trees bad? What the difference between harvesting and deforestation?
Good question. Harvesting in sustainable forest management means cutting trees responsibility, not clearing everything. Usually, it's done through selective logging. This means only mature trees are cut, while younger ones are left to grow. And after harvesting, replanting happens. Deforestation, on the other hand, often remove forests without proper restoration. That's the big difference.
Oh, so harvesting is controlled and planned. The processing is destructive and often careless.
Exactly.
I think that plays off a lot of function because not a free cutting is automatical bad.
That's right. Context so matters.
Let's talk about consequence. What happens if forest runs to manage properly?
So the impact can be severe forests. So forests help absorb water. Without them, rainwater flows directly into rivers, increasing flood risks. Forests also hold soil together, so losing them can cause landslides and during the dry season. Art can become murder also the climate issue. Fewer trees means less carbon absorption. That makes global warming worse. And of course, wildlife lost habitat. Some species can even become endangered or extinct.
Oh, that's heavy, and honestly, we've seen some of this thing happen. Floods, extreme heat, landslide. These aren't distant problem anymore.
Exactly. That's why forest management matters. It's affect real life.
How? And speak of real life in Indonesia, forests are a whole part of the control, right?
Yes, Indonesia has some of the largest tropical forests in the world. They're incredibly rich in biodiversity, but they also challenge like illegal logging, forest fires, and land conservation, anything like that. That's why sustainable management is especially important.
Oh, and forests are scary. Every year we hear about them, and the smoke affects to many people, even people far away.
Exactly. That's so how connected environmental issues are. Forest damage in one area can affect many other places.
Let's make it personal. What can ordinary people do? Because sometimes environmental problem feels too big. Like what can one person really do?
A lot actually is people can reduce unnecessary paper use like that. So and super eco-friendly products, spread awareness, and simply respect nature. Small action matters. Everything like that.
I think awareness is hard because once people understand why forests matter, they're more likely to care.
Exactly. Awareness leads to action.
And action create change. I also think our generation has a big role here, and honestly, forests are part of that conversation.
Absolutely. The future of forest depends a lot on our generation. So the choice made today will shape tomorrow.
And that's real because protecting forest is just about saving trees. It's about protecting air, water, basically life itself.
Exactly. Forest protecting us, so protecting forest is protecting ourselves too.
That line hits hard. Forest protect us. So protecting forest is protecting ourselves. I'm gonna remember that. Honestly, today, conversation changed the way I think about forest. Before this, I knew forests were important, but now I understand why. Because once you understand something value, you treat it differently.
That's true. That's so true. Because knowledge builds responsibility.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing all of this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think I really appreciate it for having me in here. It was great talking about this.
And for everyone listening, here the main takeaway: forests are not unlimited. They need care, planning, and responsibility. Sustainable forest management is all about balanced planting, maintaining, and harvesting. Because the forests we protect today will set the world we live in tomorrow. So maybe after this episode, take a moment to think about your relationship with nature. Small things. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you in the next video. Fish and bye.